I stand before you on Big Think as the first to stand. Kids, all my energy is delivered this way. So I asked the good folks, I was like, can I stand? Yeah. And here we are. So let's go on the journey together, on our feet. I feel in order to get to where you're going requires a reasonable amount of unreasonability. Not like, hey man, I'm gonna jump off a building and fly without the aid of a jetpack. That's unreasonable unreasonability. Reasonable amount is just like, why not me? Hey kids, my name's Kevin Smith. Started in 1994 with a little motion picture named Clerks, and that's how people came to know me, was as a writer-director. Mallrats, Chasing Amy, Dogma, Jane, Silent Bob Strike Back, Jersey Girl, Cop Out, Red State, Tusk. The list goes on, kids. I've got 16 movies. I'm heading toward my 17th. So mostly my career, I've been a filmmaker, but somewhere along the line, I decided to just become myself for a living professionally. So my real title is Professional Kevin Smith. Everybody, mostly everybody except people who are born rich, everybody has had a shitty job. And that's what Clerks is about. Having a job you hate so much that you do anything else at the job to forget about the fact that you're there to work.
This guy's going through all the eggs, look. This has been going on for 20 minutes now.
At the end of the day, there's always going to be some job you don't want that you can take. I'd rather die trying to do something I love doing and hope it works out than just kind of commit to that right away. So I always had a piece of me that felt like the risk's worth taking. Why not try to make your dreams come true? I dreamt about movies. I'd seen a motion picture called Slacker, written and directed by Richard Linklater, and he was a filmmaker working in Austin, Texas. I did not realize that Austin, Texas, where Slacker was made, was the capital of Texas. All I heard was this kid made a movie in Texas, in Nowheresville, Texas, and it worked out. Well, maybe I can make a movie in Nowheresville, New Jersey. I've said, what's the story I could tell? I have access to this convenience store. I work in it all the time. I've never seen a movie made in a convenience store before. Maybe that could be my thing. After I made the flick, right, I make Clerks. I make it on credit cards, $27,575. And I was steamrolling toward this one event, not Sundance. It is called the IFFM, the Independent Feature Film Marketplace. The idea of the marketplace is you fill it with as many potential buyers or press as possible to see the movie. It's not a film festival, it's a marketplace about sales. We go, and the only people in the audience at the Angelica Film Center are me and the cast and crew. So 10 of us, and we all worked on the movie. And the first 10 minutes of watching my movie on the big screen, this was the thought process. My God, why did I do this? Why is everyone looks so terrible? This movie looks like it was shot through a glass of milk. Why won't they stop cursing? What was I thinking? I had a kind of breakdown in the moment in the theater. About 15 minutes into the movie, I cognitively reframed it. And I was like, you know what? 2.5 years ago, you were sitting in this movie theater watching Richard Linklater's Slacker, and you had no vision of being a filmmaker. And here you are 2.5 years later, and you're watching your own movie in this theater. And yeah, it didn't fill up the way you hoped, but you did it. So this costs money that you don't have. So this is what you're going to do. You're going to go get another job. And if you have to, you're going to get a third job. You'll get another job if you have to, so that you pay off this credit card debt. And then when you pay off that debt, you're going to do this one more time before you leave this world, because did you know who you were for the first time in your life when you were standing on that set? You knew exactly who you were supposed to be. Your whole life prior to that, it's been a mystery. And then bam, just like that, everything became crystal clear. Don't sell out on this just because it didn't work the way you wanted it to. Remember that feeling of finally knowing who you are, and get back to that feeling one day. It may cost time and it may cost money, but get back to that. That was the most gratifying thing you've ever felt in this lifetime. Mercifully, somebody said, you should take this movie to Sundance. And we submitted it. It got picked up for Sundance, one of 16 movies of 400 that were submitted. Miramax bought it. Suddenly I went from being a guy who worked in a convenience store who made a movie to having a career in film. I got to pay off that debt. I didn't have to worry about that. That was 31 years ago. My parents, when I was heading toward film, they were like, what's your backup? Because parents care and they feel like the field that I was heading toward was one that success was never going to be guaranteed. And in the case of their idiot son, probably wasn't even going to happen. But having a reasonable amount of unreasonability allowed me to be like, well, I understand, reasonably speaking, that a lot of people don't bet on themselves and make a movie, even though they've never made one before. But I got a reasonable amount of unreasonability here. And so I pursued a career of extended adolescence because, I'll be honest with you kids, one day you die screaming like my father did. You might as well go for it. You might as well do the thing that you dream about doing, for heaven's sake.
Thanks, Kevin. This has been great. We'd love to take some portraits of you. Can we do some portraits standing, and then would you mind sitting for a couple portraits?
No, I don't want to sit, but I'll totally stand for as many portraits as you want. I'm getting my steps in. And while I was doing this, I hit 10,000.
To learn even more from the world's biggest thinkers, get Big Think Plus for your business.